Separate from the norm.
Separate.
Integrate. Separate from the norm. Integrate. Separate from the norm. Integrate with an abnormal state where I form and shape. Drop enormous weight on a broken plate. Bleed through motion leads to a loss or gain. When I lay down at night, it's like my sight is lost, like my life, feeling clueless and hopeless. As I get older, I'm beginning to notice all of the pressures from my young mishaps. Ended up in rehab, writing on a notepad about my childhood, the lessons I missed from not seeing my father. He lived far away and him coming to me was a bother. He said I'm trapped here on Catalina Island. He could have picked up the phone, but it was nothing but silence coming from his lips. So I spent a lot of my life on a boat, making unwanted trips. Why do I feel so panicky? The doctor told me it was ADHD. Take that diagnosis, mix it on some Home Alone shit, and you have yourself a depressed adolescent. My blessings were in the greatest of disguises. Single mother couldn't really afford a lot of surprises, but she's where I learned to be decent. So I waited for adulthood, turned to the meanest, greenest MC, touching on how I grew up with envy for the other school kids. How convenient that your house is where both of your parents live, while mine didn't. Separate from the norm, integrate with an abnormal state where I form and shape. Drop enormous weight on a broken plate. Bleed through motion leads to a loss or gain. Separate from the norm, integrate with an abnormal state where I form and shape. Drop enormous weight on a broken plate. Bleed through motion leads to a loss or gain. As I go through the day, one of my ambitions is to change the way that I carry this hatred and the falsehoods I've created. Bad thoughts my mind's making, I'm gonna break them, cause my pain is only as powerful as I make it. I believe that earning this knowledge, no teachers, no college, is the reason that I'm incredibly solid and rooted like a tree. Beyond the fakeness of society is where I'll be. Just me, I will achieve everything I want if I cultivate incorruptibility. My third eye was locked up, I finally found the key and chose to perceive a different angle on reality. Separate from the norm, integrate with an abnormal state where I form and shape.
Yeah. Of course, there's a whole conflict going on between mind and body anyway. You know, you got, for instance now, like the mind is weird. It digs to just look at things that are gonna hurt the body. For instance, if you're walking someplace and it's dark and a guy jumps out of an alley, like your body is ready. Already the body has turned, ready to make it. But the head is still looking at what it was, you know? And the body says, hey, don't be looking at that. Let's watch out for the poles shooting up out of the ground, man. Mind and body don't get along at all. It is the mind that says to the body or to the hand, don't turn that light on when you got to walk from the bedroom to another room and it's pitch black. That's weird, man. You should have more sense than that. But the mind is really egotistical. I know my way around this house. Don't turn that light on. And the hand says, what? I said, don't turn the light on. I know my way around. Meanwhile, the toes are saying, hey, no, turn the light on. Turn the light on, will you please, ma'am? I'm not going through this again.